So I've always eaten meat, and I've always loved meat. But I never really imagined that I'd come to take such an active role in procuring that meat, definitely not hunting. I grew up in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., and we ate good food, but it pretty much all came from the grocery store. My parents used to talk about how they were vegetarians before I was born, and that seemed kind of crazy to me. My dad grew up in rural Vermont, and they had a big garden and raised animals, and a lot of those ended up on their plates. But his stories of that life in Perkinsville seemed so remote and almost like this alternative universe, nothing that could ever be possible for me. So fast forward a few years to college, and I took some classes in environmental ethics, but instead of having that aha moment like Peter did that makes someone a vegetarian, someone posed the challenge to me, if you're going to continue to eat meat, you should be able to kill it yourself. So I went up to the Peace Corps in Paraguay after graduating, and I thought, all right, this is my chance to see, can I do this? And there were no shortage of opportunities to get my hands bloody. Every Sunday for lunch, my family killed a chicken or a duck, and I came to help pretty regularly with that. On holidays and other special occasions, it was something bigger, a cow, a goat, or a pig. I had the honor of killing the Christmas goat once, all by myself. Not your average Christmas tradition. But in most cases, I just helped with the butchering process. And one thing became really clear to me. I could do it. And I really didn't have a problem with it, which is a relief for me as a bacon lover. So then I moved to Wisconsin for grad school, and I had a roommate, a guy from the UP, and he'd been hunting probably since he could hold a rifle. And one time he brought a deer to Wisconsin that he'd killed and taught me and a couple of friends how to butcher it. And that was the first time I thought, wow, maybe this is something I could do. A few years later, I had another roommate from Iowa, Natalie, she's here somewhere, shout out. And she had learned to hunt more as an adult. So then I thought, wow, no, this is possible. And in the spring of 2012, she organized this Learn to Hunt for turkeys through the DNR, and I participated, and that's all it took. I was hooked. So the next fall, I did another Learn to Hunt, this time for deer. I didn't even see one. But probably the most memorable part of the whole experience was being in the woods before dawn of the Aldo Leopold Reserve, leaning up against a tree. This mentor, this guy, retired DNR guy, sitting next to me. We're listening to the woods wake up. He leans over and whispers, I haven't been in the woods teaching someone to hunt since my son was 14, and that was a long time ago. So 1 turkey and 2 deer seasons later, I have yet to successfully shoot something myself. I have successfully appeared in 2 newspaper articles about hunting and on the Deer Show on Wisconsin Public Television, which goes to show you do not have to be a successful hunter to be a famous hunter. I did get a shot at a turkey once, and I missed. I may or may not have come closer to shooting my friend Jer, but I promise that's a funny story. I had this amazing experience last fall with a doe at about 5 yards. She came from behind me, and we had this kind of staring contest, but I wasn't in position to take a shot. I've spent a lot of hours just sitting silently, hands and feet colder than I ever thought possible. But I've also inherited the rifles that belonged to my grandmother and grandfather, somewhat rare .35 calibers that no one in the family was using. I have been to Dick's Sporting Goods at 3 a.m. on Black Friday, head to toe in camo with a friend, pushing our way through the crazy shoppers trying to find a blaze orange hat for him. But above all, I've been invited into this community of people for whom this is part of what they do. This is in their history. And they've shared their skills, they've shared their equipment, they've shared their land. I have a freezer full of venison, even though I didn't shoot one, because they've shared that with me. And I've tried to pass on some of that generosity. This past winter, I taught some friends how to butcher some chickens. And so what it's become for me, it's about the community. It's about the stories. And one day I might even get a deer myself. Thank you.